Hey everyone, it is me again, your friendly neighborhood blogger who has made more money mistakes than I care to admit. Today I want to talk about something a lot of people dream of, getting a big bonus from work. I just got a nice chunk of change, $24,000 to be exact. Now, most people, including my past self, would probably have spent that money in their heads before it even hit their bank account. New car, fancy gadgets, a lavish vacation, you know the drill. But this time, after all the financial potholes I have hit over the years, I did things differently. I sat down and meticulously planned out exactly where every single dollar of this bonus went. And I want to share that with you, not to brag, but to show you how someone who used to chase every shiny object finally learned to make smarter choices. First things first, that $24,000 sounds amazing on paper, does not it? No doubt about that, a truly wonderful feeling to see that number. But then Uncle Sam, bless his heart, decided to take his share. And just like that, a significant portion vanished when the dust settled. Only $12,000 actually landed in my bank account. Yeah, that stings a bit, it always does, but that is the reality of bonuses and taxes. Something I wish I understood better when I was younger, instead of just seeing the big number and planning imaginary spending sprees. It was a good reminder right from the start that reality often differs from expectations in finance. Now, here's where the new me kicked in. Before I even saw a single dollar of that $12,000, I had already set up an automatic transfer. A solid $3,600 went straight into my Roth 401k. I love doing this because it forces discipline. It is like paying my future self first, and I do not even have to think about it. It is out of sight, out of mind, and working for me in the long run. This is a strategy I picked up after years of struggling with inconsistent investing. The automatic transfers really remove the temptation to spend. It is a simple trick, but it has been a game changer for my financial habits. With the remaining $12,000 that hit my account, the very next thing I did was finish maxing out my Roth IRA. That is another $6,000 contribution right there. For me, the Roth IRA is a foundational account, a cornerstone of my investment strategy. It is tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals in retirement. What is not to love? In my younger days, I would have seen that $6,000 as party money, or maybe a down payment on some new tech I did not really need, but now I see it as serious fuel for my financial engine. And just like that, without doing anything crazy or complicated, I had already put $9,600 of my bonus towards investments, building real long-term wealth. This is the kind of progress I wish I had started making in my 20s instead of learning the hard way through countless mistakes. This left me with $6,000. And I will be honest, this is where the old me, the one who loved instant gratification, started whispering, spend it on fun things, a new watch, a spontaneous trip. The temptation was strong, but I wanted a balanced approach. After all, life is not just about saving every penny, so I decided to split it right down the middle, $3,000 for fun guilt, free spending, and the other $3,000 for more investing. The $3,000 for fun spending is exactly that. Fun money, I've already handled the important investing milestones, so this portion is for whatever I decide. It is for enjoying the present, living a little, maybe a nice dinner out, a weekend getaway, or something I have been wanting for a while. The key here is that it is budgeted, it is planned, and it does not derail my long-term goals. This balance is crucial for staying motivated and not feeling deprived. It is a lesson I learned after years of either overspending or being too restrictive, both of which led to financial frustration. The other $3,000 went straight into my brokerage account. This is my bucket of flexible investments, the one that will eventually give me the option of early retirement. While my Roth 401k and Roth IRA are fantastic, they have rules about when I can access the money without penalty. My brokerage account, on the other hand, offers more liquidity. It is where I build up a stash that I can tap into before traditional retirement age if I choose to. In my past life, this $3,000 would have been just another excuse to buy something flashy. Now, it is another step towards true financial independence. Now, let me walk you through my thought process behind these decisions. Maxing out my Roth IRA immediately was a no-brainer. There was no hesitation, no overthinking involved for the foreseeable future. I want to be maxing out my Roth IRA every single year. I know from countless hours of learning from my past investment mistakes how incredibly powerful this account can be for my financial future. The real advantage here is not just that I maxed it out, it is when I did it. By knocking this out early in the year, especially by April, I have removed that financial obligation for the rest of the year. This frees up a ton of cash in the coming months that I can now redirect straight into my brokerage account, which is a big focus for me right now as I work on building that more flexible investment account. There is also a significant mental shift that happens when you max out your Roth IRA early in the calendar year. Suddenly, I am officially ahead of my financial goals for the year. That gives me a much-needed financial momentum boost. It makes me want to keep investing. To stay consistent this year because of how strong of a start I got, it is like going up 28-3 in a football game. You are ahead. You feel good, but you still need to play smart to keep that lead. Sorry to any Falcons fans out there that are listening to that particular analogy. It is a powerful psychological trigger that encourages good financial habits. And on top of all that, I am actually excited to be putting this money to work right now. Why? Because the market is down when I was younger and focused on short-term gains. A down market would have sent me into a panic, selling everything in a frenzy and locking in losses. But after years of learning about long-term investing, I now see a down market as an opportunity. All these same ETFs that I always buy are essentially on sale right now. Instead of being scared that those ETF stock prices are down, I look at it as a chance to buy more shares at a discount. I know that over the long term, that is exactly how I can build wealth quicker when these ETFs eventually recover. This mindset shift from fear to opportunity was one of the hardest but most crucial lessons I learned after losing money chasing hot stocks. The next thing I did was carve out that portion of the bonus as straight up fun money. I am just storing this right now in my high yield savings account. It is important to enjoy the present, to enjoy my hobbies, to live a little. I am going to take trips, go out to eat, whatever it is, and I am going to do it wisely so it will not derail my overall financial strategy. In my younger, more reckless days, this fun money would have been spent impulsively, often leading to regret. Now, it is a deliberate allocation, part of a balanced financial life. It is about enjoying life without sacrificing the future. And then the last $3,000 that I had left over went straight into my taxable brokerage account. This account is really becoming a major focus for me right now because it gives me the most flexibility. It is not locked behind retirement rules. It is not something I have to wait decades to touch. Right now, it is sitting just over $45,000. And in my mind, I want this to hit $60,000 by the end of the year. That would be a huge milestone, and honestly, it would put me in a really strong financial position. This is the kind of goal I would have laughed at in my 20s, thinking only rich people had brokerage accounts. Now, it is a tangible target. Now, at the same time, I am trying to balance all this with my real life because my fiance and I are also saving for a wedding, and that is a very big expense. Anyone that has planned a wedding or paid for part of their wedding knows this. So that $60,000 in my brokerage account is definitely a stretch goal. It is something I am aiming for, but if I come up a little short, it is not the end of the world. Me and my fiance are prioritizing experiences and prioritizing saving for a wedding as well this year. That is really the bigger point here. All this is not about hitting the perfect investment numbers overnight. It is about taking advantage of a good opportunity that I am in. The key thing with getting a large bonus like this is not letting lifestyle creep sneak in and steal what could have been a massive step forward for me financially, because this is exactly how people stay stuck. They get a bonus or a raise, and their first instinct is, what can I go buy? Instead of, how can I use this money to earn my financial freedom through investing? That is when you see people upgrading cars, increasing their monthly expenses, locking themselves into a lifestyle they cannot truly afford. That is not going to be me. I have been there, done that, and paid the price. I know the trap of instant gratification, because if you slow down for just a second and actually think about the trade-off, it becomes really clear that extra $6,000 that I just put into my Roth IRA with this bonus, I can literally project what that turns into over time. And when I run it into a compounding interest calculator at a conservative 7% return to account for inflation, rather than the typical 10% return you would get when investing in the SP 500 here, is what it looks like. Just $6,000 invested today will turn into over $55,000 in today's dollars. By the time I am 60, that is the shift that I want you to start making. Instead of just seeing what something costs you today, you start seeing what it actually costs you in the future when you give up that compounding effect. So yes, I could have had an additional $6,000 to go spend on whatever I wanted, but I see that as if I invest this $6,000 and max out my Roth IRA. That $6,000 with the same purchasing power today will be the equivalent of $55,000 in the same purchasing power when I am older. That is a massive difference, and it is a lesson that took me far too long to learn. It is the power of compounding, something I completely ignored in my early investing days, always chasing quick wins. Now, that does not mean I do not ever want to spend my money, and I do not want you just to sit at home cooking up spreadsheets all day and not spending money either. That is not realistic, and it is not the life most people actually want to live. I am a big believer in enjoying the present. Too, I just got back from a camping trip with my fiance and our dog, and it was an awesome time. But the difference is that I am spending from a position of financial control and not impulse with this bonus, because I am going to prioritize the investing side of things first. That is what I want you to get out of this video if you get a bonus or raise or a bigger paycheck. You need to be prioritizing investing if you want to build your financial freedom. Take care of your future self up front and enjoy what is left without guilt, instead of doing it the other way around and wondering why you are not getting ahead financially. I have been on both sides of that equation, and let me tell you, financial control feels a whole lot better than financial regret. So that is all I have for this video. Let me know down in the comments if you would have spent this $24,000 bonus any differently. I would love to hear your take on the matter. As always, thanks for watching this video and staying until the end. I will see you all in the next one.